What's up, guys? This is GundamLegacyExtreme, and I'm here today to do a review on the GP03S Stamen Gundam Girl from the Armored Girl Project series. And no matter how many times I say that name, it still just doesn't sound right. Bringing in the figure itself, this is a really, really nice looking figure. And she fixes a lot of the issues I had with the certain girl back there. Bring her in for some closer detail shots. I really, really like the face sculpt on this one. It looks marvelous. Nice blue hair, golden eyes. She kind of, if her eyes were red, she would make me think a lot of a happier Rei Ayanami from Neon Genesis Evangelion. And that part fell off again. I swear, since I did the armor change, that part has become extremely loose. Now, as you can see, she is far more risque dressed than the Wing Zero girl was. But don't ask me why. I don't know why they went with that design, but whatever. Down for some more of the detail shots on her back. I just really, really like how this figure looks overall. So, yeah. Now, before I get into anything else, you guys will probably have noticed I had her feet on backwards during that detail shot. Don't ask me how I pulled that off. Anyway, getting into the articulation, she has some pretty nice articulation. Very much the same as that one back there. Her head can look up about that far, down about that far, tilt side to side, rotate fully 360. She's got a slight neck joint. Arms can go up about that far, full 360 rotation. Got a slight bicep swivel. Elbow bends about that much. Wrists go in and out, or up and down, depending on how you have it. Full rotation, and I really, really like that. It's just a little stump rather than the teeth that figuarts have. Oh, I hate that. She has got a very moderate chest joint, unlike some of the other figures I've been reviewing recently, and a decent hip rotation. Nothing really to write home about, and again, that part falls off. Legs can go forwards about that far, back about that far, and that part falls off again. Out about that far, but yeah, the ball joint is kind of restrictive. Knees bend, and the foot can go forwards and backwards, side to side, and rotate. So yeah, she's got some pretty decent articulation, enough to do some good posing, especially once you get to her armor. And speaking of armor, okay, before we get into her armor, let's go over some of her other minor accessories. What the fuck just happened there? Don't ask. Even I don't know what just happened right there. Like I was saying, we get some of her minor accessories. She's got the same special adapter right here that the Wing Zero girl had, so you can attach other Robot Damashi backpacks onto her. I should have gotten my strike, I don't know why. But whatever. She also gets a pair of closed fist hands. A pair of, I'm gonna grab the wrong one, trigger finger hands. And a pair of closed fist hands. And other than that, oh yeah, you get these little plug pieces right here for accessories, and two little cylindrical pods, which I will get to later. Okay, now, getting into her armor, this is where things are going to become like that. We're going to start with the feet, once again. This time, you don't actually have to take anything off, unlike her. Literally, all it is just plugging pieces on rather than disassemble and reassemble like both of these. And this is where I get scared. You have to first... What sadistic fucker thought that up? That's how I break high-grade leg armor. You pull that off, and you clip this back on, like so. This is why this is the reason why the feet got backwards, because I take the feet off to do this. The instructions don't tell you to do it. I recommend it highly. Now, I really hate this part, because I fear one of these days I'm going to break it, because you will see in a moment why I say this. There we go, finally. And you just plug the foot back on. Taking this foot off, and again, like I said, you will see why I feared this, because I snapped that part off. Thankfully, it was more just glued on than anything else. I just have to re-glue it. Though I kind of am resilient, because it makes putting the foot on so much easier, but that part now loves to fall off, because it's now just being held on there by friction. Now, comes assembling the thighs. You just take these off, you split these, or what I originally did was I took the feet off and just slid them on, because yeah, I'm just going to do that. So once again, take the feet off, don't be stupid like me and put the feet back on. Slide this part up, making sure these two pieces right here are pointing upwards. Then you sandwich the thigh armor between it. You guys must enjoy watching me fumble with this, because I am really fumbling. Either that or you're getting mad at me, yelling at me, saying, "You're doing it wrong, you're doing it wrong, and this is why you're fumbling." Okay, so now we got that on. I'll now finally officially put this foot on. Now you take the foot and you stick it back on, and you broke that part, make sure this is frictioned back on. So there you have her leg armor. We're getting there, we're getting there. I do the back skirt armor next, because it's a pain in the side skirt armor is a pain in the butt putting on when you put the back skirt armor on. You know what? We'll take this off permanently now, because we don't need that on anymore. Raise her arms up and raise the back skirt armor. And now you stick those on there and just line the back skirt armor like so, just like the real high grade or master grade. Now the problem I have is sometimes the way I have the hips positioned and the front hair fell off again. I don't know why mine's so loose all of a sudden. The problem I have is, depending on how you have the waist, will depend on how well these stay on. Because sometimes they will stay on very well. Other times these things like to fall off very easily. And I find it all depends on how you have everything positioned. And I really don't like that. I kind of wish they did what they did with the Wing Zero girl for this. Which is why I sometimes believe that this is why I sometimes believe that the Stamen was the actual first one made, and the Wing Zero was made after, even though they were released in separate order. And my camera is starting to fall back, so excuse me while I try to refit this. Now we get her skirt armor on, and line it up like so, and no, you are not falling off. And there you have it. Now we get to the chest armor and the arms. Very easy. Here's the chest piece. You just stick it on where I took the previous one off. Her arms are where I get, again, a little annoyed. Because these things like to fall off a lot, even though, technically speaking, you're supposed to take them off to get them on. And you plug this on. And plug that on. Of course, gets misaligned. Okay, so we're almost there. Now comes the head. And you have to rip her head off. Disassemble it. That's a scary image. And unlike her, you have to actually take the post out. Because they only give you one post. Why? They were lazy. And here's where we get to what I like, really like about this one. Remember how I complained about that one not having a combat ready face? This one does. Plug it on like so. Of course. Son of a bitch. And now we just get to the backpack and the shoulder armaments. So, here's the backpack. Just slide it on like so. Slide the shoulder armor on. And we are done. Okay, now to continue on. First and foremost, let's go on with just the basic GP01 GP03 accessories. First and foremost, we have the shield. Very nice decals all over it. These are pre-applied. You don't have to apply them yourselves. Not like a Gundam model kit. And overall, it's just a very nice looking shield if my autofocus would kick in. Easy to get on, just plug it onto the arm like so. You don't have to do anything overcomplicated like you do with the GP03. I mean, like with the... do anything over... of course. You don't have to do anything over complicated, my god! Yeah, that's... I really like this one, but so many things just like to fall off. I really wish they had a better way of locking the armor pieces on, like the Wing Zero girl, whose parts don't fall off that much except for her weaponry. Ugh, fuck. Yeah, very easy. Next up, you get the Stamen Gundam standard issue beam rifle. The scope does not move, but I don't think the scope is meant to move. No, the scope does move. Never mind. I'm a liar. Liar, pants on fire. And the handle right here moves. Very easy to get into the hand. And you get the Stamen Gundam's Bazooka. Again, scope can move. And yeah, that's it for the Stamen Gundam's equipment, but you do get Dendrobium equipment. Right here is the cradle. This is basically that whole giant thing that's over the Stamen Gundam of the Dendrobiums. Take off the shield. Or this is where taking that part off comes in handy. I will leave that off for now. But before I get into the Stamen equipment, the Dendrobium equipment, there is also one other thing I did forget. This part does open up here. If I remember correctly, that's the beam saber holder. Whoa! Do expect this to happen a lot, people. There we go. Or not. It's always the left one. Always, always the left one. I forgot, her beam saber has a very pale pink blade. Can be removed. Master grade beams do not fit, so you cannot swap them out. I think high grade beams do fit though. But, like I was trying to say before she took her tumble, I can't get the beam saber to fit in here at all. I don't know if the beam saber is meant to fit in here, or if that is actually where the beam saber goes. Because I can't store her beam saber on... Son of a bitch! I can't store her beam saber on her like I can with the Wing Gundam Girl. Stay put. Don't fall. Thank you. Anyway, getting to the point now. Like I was saying, this is the Dendrobium's. This is all the parts. This is where all the Dendrobium equipment will go. You plug it into the bottom of the Stamen Gundam's backpack, which does make her a little back heavy. And now we can start adding the equipment. First and foremost, the shield. That's where this part that I mentioned earlier comes in handy. You can peg it on right here. Got all these arms, which allows for full posing of those. Next up, we'll put the beam rifle on. Plug it in. You can either plug it in at the side right here or on the bottom right here. I choose the bottom. Now she has her beam rifle on her. Now, we bring in the eye field generator. The eye field generator pegs into her arm. You have to make sure you push this in until you hear that. Son of a bitch. And then you just plug it right back onto the arm. And it's a little loose. Now, we bring in the bazooka. You can peg the bazooka in one of 3 locations. My bazooka's bent. Yeah, I'm not going to mess with that. If I remember correctly, the bazooka folds in the show. It doesn't fold on here. So don't try it. You can plug it in here. You can plug it in here. Or you can plug it in down here. I plug it in at the side right here. So now, you have that. And last but not least, the Dendrobium's giant freaking cannon. This is her equivalent to Arnvols's Maser cannon. You can either keep this part on or take this off. You know what? Before I do anything else, let me put her on her action base so I no longer have to worry about this. Just plug it in at the bottom of all this mess right here. Knock that off again. There. Now I no longer have to worry about her falling over on me. And refocus. Like I was saying, you take this off. Now, I'm going to probably kill myself for doing this. I'm going to take her hand off. Saw that coming. And we bring in her trigger finger hand. I'm not putting that back on yet, because now I bring in this accessory right here, which the trigger finger hand equips to, like so. Now, you plug the giant cannon on right here, and you try and get everything lined up, like so. It works if you raise the bazooka up and out of the way. Now you try and get everything lined up the best you can, and there you have it, the Dendrobium Girl. Damn it, skirt armor. And shield. Damn it! Sorry you're seeing my hand more than you're seeing anything else. But it's just how it's going to be. But there you have it. Finally, I got it actually in a good angle. And that's about it. Alright, sorry for the abrupt end of the previous segment. I did notice I hit my 10-minute limit again. But anyway, on to my final thoughts. This one is... I was hoping it would be better than the Wing Zero Girl, because the Wing Zero Girl, while nice, has some really big flaws. This one has its own flaws in a much more irritating way than it is in it's a flaw way. The flaws mainly stem from her armor. The leg armor, specifically the foot armor, is very, very scary to put on. The shoulder armor, the forearm gauntlets, like to fall off a lot. The hip, the side skirt armor, likes to fall off a lot. And then, of course, the giant cannon, well, that one's redundant anyway, because any giant weapon is going to be a pain in the ass to deal with. But unlike, her Arnvolst right here, at least hers is more wieldy, but that's because it's got a cradle right here to support it. Where Arnvolst doesn't have anything to support it. The flaws are there, but it's still not as bad as the Wing Zero's flaws. But where there are a lot of flaws, she has a lot of positives. One, she looks aesthetically really nice. Wing Zero Girl aesthetics are good too, but they're a little jumbled up and a mess. Outside of her armor, she looks really good. In her armor, she looks really good, but the Wing Zero Girl has the same thing. And the nicest part is she has a battle-ready face, where the Wing Zero Girl doesn't. Hers is always a smiling face, but it's a smiley face looking in an opposite direction, or a smiley face looking straight forward. Hers has a smiley face looking straight forward, and then a battle-ready face, which looks really nice. Her hairpiece, originally it wasn't falling off. I don't know why my normal head is falling off a lot, but it doesn't fall. It originally didn't fall off at all. This head, it doesn't fall off at all. And overall, like I said, she just looks really, really nice. Can I recommend it? Yes and no. I can recommend it to die-hard Gundam fans. I can recommend it to a lot of figure collectors. I can't really... Ooh, I did not notice that part can actually go up. I cannot recommend it to your average Joe only because of the problems with the complexity of putting on the armor and the fact that the armor likes to fall off a lot. Ooh, does that armor like to fall off a lot. So, overall, just be warned about some of the issues, like as you saw throughout this entire review. So, this is GundamLegacyExtreme signing off. Stay tuned for more. I have more reviews coming your way. Check out HeroTaku.com for all things geeky. Check out Toku Anime News. We will be coming back after the holiday season is over. And yeah, that's about it, and I will see you all in the next episode. Peace.